Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be going over my top 15 favourite movies from the year 1982. So yeah, all the choices I've made again are in accordance with the release dates from IMDb. They all have 1982 against the name. And again, this is just my personal favourite list of movies that came out from 82. No right or wrong to this. Your list is going to be different, but yeah, and that being said, I'm going to leave all my honourable mentions down below in the description. So yeah, that being said, going to kick it off now with number 15. So coming in at number 15, we have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Yeah, this is a movie that I think a lot of people regard as one of the worst entries into the Halloween series, but for me, this was the first Halloween movie that I ever saw when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. I just thought it was a great story, great concept. This was before I even knew who Michael Myers was. It was just such a fun film, and yeah, just this great movie about these killer masks that I just really enjoyed. But yeah, it's definitely a required taste. I think it's just, for me, it's just so much fun, and I have a blast with it. I love Tom Atkins in the lead. It's not a perfect movie, but for me, it's just one that absolutely oozes Halloween. And I know the Silver Shamrock song in the movie can get on a lot of people's nerves, but for me, it never really bothered me. It never really drove me insane that it does a lot of other people, but I just have fun with this film, and I watch it every Halloween along with the first two movies, and I just have a great time with it. So yeah, that is my number 15 pick, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So coming in at number 14, we have Don Bluth's Secret of Nim. Yeah, this is just a really underrated animated gem from Don Bluth. Yeah, the story is pretty basic and pretty simple, but I just really enjoy it. It follows Mrs. Brisby, who is pretty much goes on this quest to try and help her really ill child and discover the secret of Nim, which is, yeah, it just leads to this great climax. There's great characters in this film. The animation is absolutely brilliant. Some of the character designs as well are a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just an all-round really great, underrated animated gem. I think Don Bluth was kind of like the Pepsi to Disney's Coke back in the 80s. But yeah, this was just a really fun, animated, and quite dark in places movie that I just really enjoyed. So yeah, that is my number 14 pick, The Secret of Nim. So coming up next at number 13, we have Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie. Yeah, I remember seeing this on TV when I was a kid and just really enjoying the movie. Heard things about it. So it's pretty much Dustin Hoffman who plays this actor, but he's not really getting the roles he wants, so he decides to change things up a bit and dresses up as a woman to go on this daytime soap, I think it is. And yeah, he meets this other woman as well that obviously he's going to fall in love with on the set. And yeah, it's just a really fun movie. I don't think it would be made today, but yeah, I just have an absolute blast with this film. Really enjoy it. I think Hoffman's great in the role. The big reveal at the end is done quite cleverly, in my opinion. And yeah, I just have a blast with it. You've also got Bill Murray in there as well. So yeah, it's an all-round, it's just quite a fun little movie that I just really enjoy, with a lot of heart and soul to it. So yeah, that is my number 13 pick, Tootsie. So coming up next at number 12, we have Martin Scorsese's The King of Comedy, starring Robert De Niro and Jerry Lewis. This was just a brilliant movie. Did enjoy it the first time I watched it, but on review, really good, solid movie that was a lot deeper than I thought it was the first time I watched it. You've got Robert De Niro, who pretty much wants to be this up-and-coming comedian, and it really just shows the lengths that he goes to try and get what he wants. He's just absolutely persistent, and he becomes obsessed with Jerry Lewis's character, and it just really gets out of hand. But he's given one opportunity to just do what he wants to do, and there's repercussions there, but yeah, it's just a really, really deep movie, deeper than what the surface tells you. Yeah, I just have an absolute great time with this one. So yeah, that is my number 12 pick, The King of Comedy. So coming up next at number 11, we have Rocky 3. This was just the definition of entertainment for me growing up as a child. I absolutely had a ball with this film. It was the Rocky film that I rewatched the most growing up. It just had so much rewatch value for me. I loved the introduction of Mr. T as Clubber Lang. I thought he was a great villain and a threat to Rocky and his title. And yeah, it just has so much heart to it. It's so entertaining. You've also got Hulk Hogan in there as well as Thunderlips. The movie is just so much fun. So much fun. I just have a great time with it. And yeah, like I said, the entertainment factor on this one is through the roof. It's great to see Rocky team up as well with Apollo Creed, as they were pretty much basically enemies in the first two movies. But yeah, really, really awesome movie. So entertaining, so much fun, and just have a blast with it. So yeah, that is my number 11 pick, Rocky 3. So cracking into the top 10 now, coming in 10th place, we have George Romero's Creepshow. Yeah, again, an absolutely fantastic anthology horror movie. I remember seeing this when I was a kid. I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. And yeah, I just had so much fun with these stories. Yeah, they were just absolutely great. I loved the one with Stephen King, with a meteor crash lands, and it basically just turns him into moss. It's so weird and so much fun. But the one that really stuck with me and really creeped me out was the story, I think it's called Something to Tide You Over, with Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen, and that story creeped the hell out of me as a kid. The ending to that was absolutely terrifying. But yeah, there's a lot of other fun stuff going on in this film. It's really entertaining to boot. Tom Atkins is also in it as well. He's great in anything he turns up in. And yeah, it was just an absolutely fun anthology horror movie that is just absolutely great. So yeah, that is my number 10 pick, Creepshow. Coming up next, taking the 9th spot on this list, is Diner. Yeah, this is just one of these great coming of age movies. There's going to be a few of these now on the list, but yeah, this one for me was really, really great. It had exceptional cast of characters in this movie that I just, yeah, thought were great. Steve Guttenberg, Daniel Stern, Mickey Rourke. Yeah, just a really, really fun cast. But I think what resonated with me most about this film was there's a scene in the movie with Daniel Stern's character, and I think his girlfriend's going through his record collection and she puts things back in the wrong place and he absolutely freaks out. And it's the reasons why he freaks out that I just thought was so relatable, and I really, really dug that character's motivation there. But overall, this is just a fun, great coming-of-age movie that I just absolutely love. So, yeah, that is my number 9 pick, Diner. So coming in at number 8, we have Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yeah, just I have, again, like most of these movies, I have so much fun with this one. I love the eclectic cast of characters in this movie. From the stoners, the career-driven people, and the sleazy scalpers, the girls in the movie. It's just absolutely so much fun, this film. And yeah, I just think it's great. Like I said, the characters are the driving force of the movie, growing up in high school in the 80s, and yeah, absolutely phenomenal soundtrack. The song by Jackson Browne on this film is just absolutely great. Somebody Else's Baby. Phenomenal stuff. And yeah, all around, just the characters in it are great. The swimming pool sequence is absolutely iconic as well. Sean Penn's so funny as the stoner. And yeah, I just all around have a blast with this film. But there was another film pretty similar to this that just picked it to the post in my opinion, which is my next pick. But yeah, I really did have fun with this film. So yeah, that is my next pick, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So coming in at number 7, we have The Last American Virgin. This is a movie I've bashed on about way too much, but I love talking about this film. I think that this movie is not for everyone. I think most people either love or hate this movie. I've never seen anyone who's sort of been middle of the road with it. But yeah, this is not a perfect movie. It isn't. I know this movie has flaws. And why it's on this list for me is probably because I just resonate with the ending of this movie. It really hit home for me. And it was very, very relatable. I didn't really think much of the movie the first time I watched it, but when that ending kicked in, I saw the movie in a bit more of a different light, and I really appreciated it a hell of a lot more. So, yeah, it's not the best acting. Don't expect groundbreaking stuff with this movie. Like I said, it's not perfect. I love the film, but I know it's not perfect. It does have its problems, but yeah, I don't know. Something about this film just resonated with me like no other movie. So, yeah, I just really, really enjoy this one. So, yeah, that is my next pick, The Last American Virgin. So, coming up next, taking the 6th place on this list is Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist. Yeah, this is a fascinating movie for me. Although I really enjoy the film, I really have a blast with it. I really do think it's great. I don't think it's the scariest film I've ever seen, but I just really enjoy this family, and I love spending time with them and what they go through. The acting in it is great, in my opinion, as well. But I think the thing with the Poltergeist series of movies is I'm more fascinated with the things that went on behind the camera with these movies as opposed to what we actually saw. It's really dark but really fascinating stuff that went on with the cast of these movies, who sadly passed away, but it just makes for some absolutely fantastic reading. But I know that's nothing to do with watching the film, but it's just, there's just some really tragic stories behind this series, but it just makes watching the movie a bit of a bittersweet experience. But yeah, it's a great horror film. It's a lot of fun on the whole as a finished product. But yeah, it's definitely one you can do a bit of research on and find out some fascinating stuff about it. So yeah, that is my next pick, Poltergeist. So coming in at number 5, we have Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I believe this movie is considered to be the best Star Trek movie amongst the majority of Star Trek fans. I've seen the show, the original show with William Shatner, and I've seen Next Generation as well in its entirety. I do like the shows, but for me, I'm much more of a fan of the movies. I just have such a better time with them. And I went into the movies not expecting much, didn't think I was going to like them, but I had an absolute ball with all 10 of them. And Star Trek 2 is one of the best in my opinion. I just have a great time with it. Khan is such a fantastic villain. Opposite, James T. Kirk. He's just, the dynamic there is so great, even though they don't really have any proper screen time together where they're actually on screen. But yeah, it's such a great dynamic there, and it's just a great sci-fi movie. Yeah, I just absolutely love this one. But yeah, that is my number 5 pick, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So coming in at number 4, just missing out on the top 3, we have Steven Spielberg's E.T. Yeah, this is one that I didn't really grow up with. I did and I didn't at the same time. It was just that I never really resonated or related to this movie, but I do understand its significance now, and yeah, I just think it's a great movie. The first act for me is just a little bit difficult to get into, but I think once Elliot and E.T. start to bond, that's when I really, really get into the movie. And I've really enjoyed the third act of this film, where the kids are on their bikes. It's absolutely iconic in cinema. The poster itself, that image of Elliot and E.T. crossing the moon on the bike, is just absolutely synonymous with cinema. And yeah, John Williams hits it out of the park again with the score with this one. And yeah, It's just a brilliant movie. Another great entry into the Spielberg filmography. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick, E.T. So taking the bronze medal on this list, coming in at 3rd place, we have Sylvester Stallone in First Blood. Yeah, just a great movie, proper film. This one about dealing with PTSD, about, you know, John Rambo just wants to pass through this town and keep himself to himself and get on with it, but everyone has other plans for him and just doesn't like him, wants him gone. And yeah, it just leads to an absolute mayhem for this town because they just don't know what they're getting involved with. And John Rambo is just an absolute beast in this film, but again, there's still waters there that run deep with him. And yeah, he's just one of cinema's best characters, in my opinion. Yeah, just such a tragic character, and just gets put through the absolute mill in this film, and it's so unnecessary. But yeah, it's just a fantastic film. It's one of Stallone's best. I still have my VHS copy of it as well. But yeah, I just absolutely adore this film. I think it's great. It's one of his best performances and one of his best movies. So yeah, taking the bronze medal, coming in at 3rd place, we have First Blood. So coming in at number 2, taking the silver medal, we have John Carpenter's The Thing. I believe this movie was an absolute flop when it first came out in '82. I think critics hated it. It just didn't make any money. But it definitely found its footing later on in life. And yeah, this is, you know, one of the best horror movies I think there is. It has some of the best practical effects ever, in my opinion, to ever be put in a movie. They're so horrific and gruesome. You just think, how the hell did they pull that off? It's one of the best movies about paranoia as well. It's just absolutely fantastic. The whole movie is pretty much driven by pretty much an entire male cast. But yeah, it's just one of Carpenter's best, and it never gets boring. It makes for fantastic rewatch, and yeah, I absolutely love it. It's John Carpenter's The Thing. It's an amazing film. I can't praise it enough. But yeah, that is my number 2 pick, guys. John Carpenter's The Thing. So that now leaves us with one movie left, and this for me, again, was kind of a no-brainer. I just love and adore this film, and I never used to, because the first time I watched it, I absolutely hated it and didn't want to ever watch it again, which is kind of funny because it's my number 1 from '82. But yeah, taking the gold medal, coming in at 1st place, we have Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. Yeah, this was not a good experience watching this for the first time. I didn't really like it, didn't get it. And it wasn't until I was actually doing my A-levels for the first time in film studies, and we watched this, and I discovered there was a bit more to the movie, a lot more in-depth themes going on. And yeah, it was just a much better experience. I think the movie is absolutely gorgeous. The opening sequence is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, it's just great. Harrison Ford as well. You know, coming off the back of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Empire Strikes Back, this was just a 3rd home run for him, I think. And yeah, Rutger Hauer as well, fantastic villain. Great premise as well, just about these replicants who have a short lifespan and they want more life, so they seek out their creator to try and get more life. But Blade Runner units have been ordered to kill them or retire them, as it's known in the film, if they spot them, because they're declared illegal. And yeah, it's just a gorgeous movie. The soundtrack as well by Vangelis is absolutely hypnotic. And yeah, I just love this movie. My favourite movie from 1982, guys. So yeah, that is my number 1 pick, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. So yeah, those are my top 15 favourite movies from 1982, guys. I'm going to leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.